Hello, everyone. It's Andrew Bermudez, joined by Bucky Beeman from,
Realty Growth Incorporated, Rochester, Minnesota.
there we go, most awesomest commercial real estate broker on the planet
Thank you.
in Rochester, Minnesota. And I'm Andrew Bermudez, your co-host, co-founder and CEO of Digsy, the free commercial real estate listing service. So if you're tired of paying an arm and a leg to expose your properties to tenants and buyers directly, go to getdigsy.com and list all your properties there. Today, Bucky and I have a special treat for you guys. So Bucky, we were talking about this. We've always actually talked about this where, hey, how do we get the email addresses of people in our database? Like what we've noticed is Get Digsy or Digsy has this tool, this prospecting tool that we provide on the side. It's not something we focus on for brokers to automate, prospecting and all of that. It's not like a full-blown CRM, but it's something that allows you to send mass personalized emails and you can click to dial and all that stuff. But what we've noticed is when people upload their database of prospects, most brokers only have like 5 to 7% of their database has emails on it. So, I was talking to Natalie last week on our last episode, which she said you big timed us, Bucky, but now she big timed us today because she's not here.
Right.
So I think we canceled each other out. But the one thing she was mentioning is like, hey, somebody reached out to me saying, hey, I'll charge you $700 to get X amount of emails. So you're paying for emails. And what most people don't know that really sucks is that there's way cheaper ways to do this. I actually just looked at the site that I've used in the past to find emails automatically for me. And it's like $29 for like 1,000 emails, dude. And it tells you the confidence and the accuracy. So I think it's one of those tools that if brokers really want to, or anybody in the commercial real estate industry that's prospecting or trying to generate business by doing outreach, that if they want to be able to get higher response rates, because cold calling only gets you 1% return calls, and most likely they don't need your services, take me off your list type of stuff. Emails are usually anywhere between 20 to 30%, depending on your messaging and your subject line. So you get a lot more pop or bang for your buck if you're doing email outreach. So I'm going to put that into perspective, just so everybody who's listening, and for example, you, Bucky, here's some data, which I'm your data buddy over here. You're my creative buddy over there with awesome new strategies to, get in front of people, which is your greatest talent, by the way, which I admire. So on average, a phone call, a prospecting call is 7.5 minutes. That includes all the conversations you actually have, all the calls you've made, all the voicemails you've made, and it's averaged out to the number of calls. So what that means is if you want to get one call back at a 1% rate, you have to make 100 cold calls, right? So how many hours is that? You're looking at like 12 to like 13 hours to do that. That's more like a day's work, and you're not touring, you're not eating lunch or anything like that. Just to get a no, maybe. So it's not a good return on your time. Whereas when you send an email, you can use tools to instantly personalize all those and send them. And you can get all of that done, the first time, maybe like an hour and a half when you get used to a tool. But then after that, it just takes like 15 minutes to send it out. And on top of that, you get anywhere between 20 to 35 responses, depending on your subject line and different things. So you tell me what you want to do, right? Get one call back and maybe a no, or do you want to spend, 15 minutes getting just better a better ROI on your time? And I think I highly encourage brokers to really use email. And by email, we're not talking about doing an outreach like, hey, here's my list of listings or something with graphics. It's actually an email that looks like it comes from Andrew or for Bucky that says, hi, Bucky, it's Andrew. Haven't talked to you in a long time. Wanted to see how your lease is going. If you're needing more space this year or if you're looking to buy a property, let me know. I just wanted to check in. Things like that, right? On the last episode, we showed you how to, when you have a list of emails, and I'll go ahead and link this in the show notes. We showed how to automate outreach, and if they don't respond, how to follow up on that as if you were like actually going through all these hundreds of emails through a tool called Persist IQ, which is pretty solid. Natalie just went off the rails when she saw this. She's like, this is amazing. We use it at Digsy on our outreach, whether it's sales or listing acquisition, but this is the next question has been like, hey, how do I get those emails? So I know I just went on a long rant, but that's what I think we should go with today. Bucky, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And one other idea I wouldn't mind just talking about, I don't know anybody using it in commercial real estate, is text message marketing. And
Oh,
that just
yes.
came to mind as you're talking about that.
Dude, we should talk about that in the next episode or one of the future episodes because I think that's really interesting. And you know what? It's kind of interesting too because there are brokers who are afraid of doing that. They think it's invasive, but we'll leave our thoughts to when we chat about that. But can you
Okay.
jot that down so we can debrief
Yep.
after the show and then we can put it on the list because I think that's a great idea. All right, so I am going to show my screen, Buck. And
Perfect.
let me know when you can see it. All right, let me move this bad boy over here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, got it.
All right, sweet. All right, cool. So here's a tool called findemails.com. It's the hardest website address you will ever find in the world to find an email address for somebody. So if you don't remember that, I don't blame you. Findemails.com is just too hard to remember. Anyway, so you see that Oracle and Office Depot, Salesforce, they all use this. So you can actually see, you can search for an email address, right? By first name, last name, and the company. It finds emails. It tells you, kind of like what the confidence is that that's the email for the person. You can even search for like, the company and who you're trying to reach. So for example, let's say I'm like typing in something like Popeye's chicken, which is blowing up right now. I can do Popeyes and I can do real estate, and then I can find the person's email address. So you can do all this stuff manually. And also it verifies the emails for you, whether it's deliverable or not deliverable. And the beauty about this is you don't have to go one by one. That's the killer thing. So usually brokers and people in sales get hit up by all these people on LinkedIn and emails saying, I'll find you emails. And they charge you anywhere from like $500 to, thousands and thousands of dollars. And you really don't have to do that. This tool makes it super affordable to do that. If your company's really techy, you can also tap into their API to automate processes in the background for you. What that means is like, let's say you have somebody in your CRM, right? You can actually have your developer connect this so that it'll automatically find the email address of the person and inject it into the contact record. So that's an idea. Also, they have this little Chrome extension, which is really cool because like when you're looking at things online, it can actually help you find emails of people, right? So I think that's pretty dope. What do you think?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that you can upload a list of all your people that you've got, and it's got really cool stuff like not only the developer API but the Chrome extension, but also Zapier integration. So if your CRM or you have things in a spreadsheet, it's able to find the emails for you, so it automates steps between each other. But check out this pricing, dude, and keep in mind I'm only promoting it because I've used this tool in the past. It used to be called Toofr, TOOFR. Now it's called Find Emails. Check this out on the pricing. So for 1,000 credits, that means 1,000 lookups. It's $29 per month. Take that, your $700 that Natalie was being pitched at last week, and you want $2,500. Or 2,500 credits. That's $49. And look, 10,000 credits for $100. Come on, this is dirt cheap, and you can cancel anytime. It's pretty dope. I like it. So anyway, I'm gonna show you. This is probably gonna be the shortest episode we will ever do. So I'm going to show you, I've put together a list, and it's a very short list of people that I want to find, right? So I want to find, the email address for Andrew Bermudez at Digsy, Mark Benioff, who's a CEO of Salesforce, Tim Cook, who's a CEO of Apple, Elon Musk, who's the CEO at Tesla and SpaceX, Drew Houston, who's the CEO at Dropbox, Donald Trump from the Trump Organization. We'll see if we can find that. I just put that one in for kickers. So I have this in a spreadsheet. I use Google Sheets for this example, but you can use Excel. It doesn't matter. So I've already gone here, and I'm going to download it as a CSV. Right, that's a spreadsheet that makes it really easy for you to pull it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in. By the way, I've signed up for only the $29 a month account. So can you still see my screen pretty well?
Yep. Yep. Looks
Okay,
good.
great. And then since some people are going to hear the audio version of this, Bucky, as I'm going along, if you think that there is a better, if you can describe some things in case you think it's going to be a little confusing for people on the audio, I'd love if you can be my check and balance on that.
Okay.
But here's what we can do, right? So for example, let's say I want to find, let me see, Larry, let's say I want to find Larry Page at Google, right? So I typed in Larry Page, Google, and I'm gonna hit this number here. Hold on, please enter valid email address. Website or company name. Let's do google.com. Oh yeah, he doesn't work at Google anymore, huh? Okay, so 35%. So he doesn't think it's there. It's probably because he's no longer at Google, but it says, hey, L Page is probably the most likely. What I'm going to do instead of doing it one by one, which is a pain in the butt, you see
And
when
they just charge you there, Andrew? Like, is
they
that your
did.
one time? Okay.
Yeah, that's they charged me 1 credit for that.
Okay.
Now, what I want to do is I don't want to do these manually. If I have a database of 5,000 people, right, or 100 people, it's just going to take way too long to do this. The best way to maximize that 20, 50, or $100 that you're spending is to upload a spreadsheet that you don't have emails for. So like you saw before, I've got this spreadsheet of first name, last name, and company, and I want to find the emails for these people, and I export it to a CSV. So what I'm going to do is, which type of file is it? I'm going to go, hey, find most accurate email. That's what I want, the one that's most likely. And I'm going to choose the file, and I'm going to choose the file I just downloaded, right? And then next step, it's going to say map headers. What that means is, hey, make sure that the fields that you have on your spreadsheet are correct. So I'm going to skip full name since I don't have a full name field, but I do have a first name field, I do have a last name field, and I have a company, right? Then I'm going to click process. And what you can see here is the status tells me that it's 0% complete. You see that? But I've got 5 records right here. So in a few seconds, this is going to complete. And we'll just give it a little bit of time.
Where have you seen this, Andrew, that it's worked for you? Like, have you turned it into sales yourself personally?
I have.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So as you can see right now, it said it found 6 records, 100% complete, right? Let's click on this. So you see Elon Musk, Tesla.com, eMusk at Tesla. You see Mark Benioff, it even finds a title, M. Benioff at Salesforce.com, Tim Cook, Tim at Apple.com. Look at that, even guess my email address. And you guys, please don't email me, tweet at me. Email me if, I'm just kidding, just email me if you want. And then Drew at Dropbox. So these are actually really, I know, I personally, these are right. Now you will have some that will not really work, right? But you will be able to get these, to get a good chunk of them. I mean, if you're going through hundreds or thousands, you're going to get a good chunk of them that are legit. So what you can do here is you can go ahead and go back to the list. And you see this little thing that says contacts up here. It'll show you each lookup that you've done. So what I can do is I can go here and click like this little button right there. I can update the list if I want to. I don't see a need for that, but I can go here, and I know I can download it somehow. I forgot how to do that. Let me see.
One thing I noticed is that it doesn't show the percentage on this one.
It doesn't. So what it did is it grabbed the highest confidence, and it's guessing for those. But I know I can download it somewhere. It's been a while since I've done this, so let me see how I can go ahead and do this. I know I can do that. Let me see here if, oh, there it is. So I just refreshed the screen. You see a little cloud guy?
Yep.
Now I just downloaded this, and let's see. It's opening up in Excel. Okay, so the confidence is here. It's actually in the export.
Oh, I see. When you export it to an Excel.
Yeah. So it's saying, hey, confidence medium, but that is my email address. I know his is low. So it'll tell you what the score is. There's pretty high scores. But even on mine, which is correct, it says 54. But it's doing a pretty good job guessing. So, and it's got different things, like it's actually checking the servers and pinging those name or those email addresses to see if there's a server making a response with that guess and things like that. And look, it even found my LinkedIn. So I found the LinkedIn for Mark Benioff and for myself as well. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, then you grab this list and then you just either, depending on if you're using a CRM or a spreadsheet, you can have kind of like your database administrator do their magic and make sure to upload the missing emails to those lists. You kind of have to spend some time depending on the CRM. There's nothing that we can say because everybody uses something different, and every different CRM treats duplicates differently as well. If you're not using your CRM for like mass emailing, because a lot of CRMs don't have that capability built in, you kind of don't care. You just export the list of contacts from your CRM, delete everybody who doesn't have an email address. And then what you do is you add these that you got email addresses for, and then you add them to your MailChimp, or if you have a sales enablement tool like Persist IQ that will help you. You can create a sequence of outreaches, and then you're able to send the initial email, hit reply all to the previous email if they don't respond, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can save yourself a lot of time. I'm a big proponent of not having people who A, have not talked to you, or B, haven't shown an opportunity for you to, like, nobody that's told you, oh, I'm looking to buy sometime, or I'm looking to lease sometime, or I'm looking to sell sometime. I don't like having those people in my CRM, because what ends up happening with a lot of brokers and people in the commercial real estate industry is that you end up with like this CRM, which is hard to keep track of who your actual customer is, who your opportunities are. It's just loaded with junk. You should always have leads and prospects in a whole separate database. Like whether it's a Persist IQ or whether it's a MailChimp or whatever, you should have two different CRMs, which is one of the reasons why we had done Digsy AI, was because we built that tool for ourselves, to be able to prospect people. But once they turn it into one opportunity for us, then we would transfer that person over to an actual CRM, because that way, when I walk to my CRM, I want to see, okay, what are all my sales opportunities? Okay, this person wants to sell, this person wants to lease, what stage are we at, et cetera. And I'm not sitting there looking at 10,000 contacts that are A, outdated, B, it just becomes a mess. So that's a best practice. And that's something that they don't teach you in brokerage school. They should teach you how to use a CRM, but they don't do that. It's just, anyway, it's kind of funny because Duke Long, did you see that tweet by Duke Long this past week?
I don't recall it. What
So,
did it say?
oh, dude, I gotta find it. Hold on, it's the funniest thing ever. Let me see. He tweeted.
Oh, yeah. I respond to people on LinkedIn with GIFs.
Yeah, it wasn't on LinkedIn. It was on Twitter. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can pop out this tweet. He goes, all right, calling this one on February 15, 2020. Valuation models are now a commodity. Everyone does not or will have one on their CRE website. That's a valuation model. You don't have one yet? Question mark. Oh, sorry for being 5 years ahead of you again. And it's so true, though. I mean, I know it's very sarcastic, but it's so true. I mean, look, we're talking about fine emails right now, right? This tool has been out for years, but
Right.
just nobody in the commercial real estate has taken. I mean, with the exception of Massimo Group, which is really great at strategy. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff that like other companies, give us. Like, even look at this, right? Like, so Rod Santamassimo just sent me this book, right? Which is Knowing Isn't Doing, Build the Business and Life You Desire. And there's commercial real estate, type stuff. So there's just great stuff out there. And I think, Bucky, you and I and Natalie are just doing a great job at making sure that like we kind of help everybody out. So I'd love to get your thoughts, not on the Duke Long tweet, by the way, but I'd love to get your thoughts to what we just saw with fineemails.com. Get your thoughts and questions out of the way.
One question I would have is, I'm just looking it up right now. I have a property owner that I've been trying to track down and contact. All I have is their first name and last name. Can you look it up on that tool without the company name and still have success?
Most likely not.
No, you should have the company.
Yeah, you should have. This is mainly for B2B, it's for like businesses. Like if you're trying to find like the
I
real estate
gotcha.
director. Yeah. There are things that you can do though, to find that person's email address. So there's, let me see. So let me do my personal Gmail right here. So there are tools. I think it's been verified. I think this is the one that some people use for like personal emails. So you can use like all these different ones, like right here. Like I think you may want to see been verified. I think you're able to like sign up and like get some information on that.
Yeah.
Uh, Contact out. I'm not sure. People Looker, I think is another one. Which one's the other one? There's
White
one that
pages.
it's like White Pages, and there's another one called like Spoke something Spoke Bespoke. So
Gotcha.
I forgot, but you'll find something. There's dude, people get emails from other people. Um, oh, you want to know one really cool thing since you do this on your website, and we won't go into too much, but there's this tool called clickback.com, and you actually embed this on your website. And we're going to try this out. But see, it's like if somebody visits your website, you can turn that anonymous visit into sales prospect. It'll actually grab, like if somebody visits your website, it'll actually find the email address for that person and throw it
Hmm.
into your database.
That's
Now,
cool.
clickback.com. I don't know how they do it. Um, there was this tool, I forgot what was it was called Nacho Analytics, like nachos, like
Yep.
Mexican food, like, and also meaning like not your analytics, and they actually got shut down. So somehow they were using like Google Chrome extensions and extensions to like spy on people's behavior, and like we were able to look at a competitor's traffic
Oh my
in our
gosh.
own Google Analytics and how they were driving traffic and all this other stuff. It was really cool, but it definitely clandestine type stuff. They got shut down for that. So yeah, check out Clickback, man, for you techie commercial real estate broker like yourself. So how do you see yourself using this find emails thing, man?
Um, I guess what comes to mind is just some of the B2B business that we have and how we could have maybe got to the source much quicker. For example, there's a large site that just went under contract here recently, and I want to say it's 30 acres or so, but we had reached out, we had found a contact within this company. It was a dairy farm operator that it's where they process milk.
Hmm.
And we found him on LinkedIn, and he did respond via LinkedIn, which was cool. But I would say, especially in that type of industry, often they may not have or be active on LinkedIn. And so I could see using it that way to try to track down contacts related to listings of large company sites.
Oh, one thing that we should go into is like you see right here. Actually, let me turn on I stopped the sharing my screen. Let me just do it one more time. You see right here at the top. Can you see my screen, Bucky?
Yep.
Okay, you see at the top, there's this thing called Marketplace. So you can actually like find like email lists, company lists. You can like do discounted, like if they have different things. So for example, you can find lists of like tech journalists, small business journalists, email business Japan,
What
AliExpress
happens if you
buyer.
type in commercial real estate up at the top?
It's a good question. Let's do it.
So we're looking up a list of commercial real estate. I wonder if it'll say agents, commercial property
Uh,
management. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you can get 602 records for $40. Let me see here. So I could do, let me see what other opportunities are. CEO. So that will probably be the one that we want to get is like CEOs, right? So that's usually our target. Email list, order by. Okay. So real estate CEOs. That's cool. Oh,
And it looks like
9,600.
costs are varying from $50 to $40 for 1,000 to 9,000 people,
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
$16 for 207 people.
Yeah. So you can, like Los Angeles business owners. That's cool. So like, let's say, how do I spell Rochester, dude?
ROCHESTER. Yep.
Okay.
Rochester.
Rochester business owners.
Probably pull up Rochester, New York, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's see what turns up. Nope.
Type in Minnesota.
Minnesota. You gotta help me with the spelling here because I'm an
You're
idiot.
good. 1T. Yep.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Minnesota business owners, 1,400 sources, LinkedIn, cost $40, 3 cents per record.
Yeah, dude. That's cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, so that's a good. I mean, it doesn't achieve what you were trying to do, but it's better than nothing, right?
Right.
Especially if you don't have the database of people in your market. I wonder if you can also do it for like.
Findemails.com. Okay. I got to save this.
Pretty cool, huh?
I like it.
Yeah, let me try like for like let's say Minnesota restaurants. Okay, I wasn't finding anything for restaurants. All right, cool. All right, man. Anything else that you'd like to add to today's episode? Like I mentioned, it's pretty easy stuff, right? But I think it will be pretty powerful for people out there just trying to get their email game and their conversion rate up instead of making 100 calls for one return call over the period of 12 hours.
Nothing that I can add. I like it. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure, man. All right. So that is today's episode, everyone. We got Bucky Beeman from Realty Growth in Minnesota and Andrew Bermudez, co-founder and CEO of Digsy, the free listing service, in case you guys don't want to pay an arm and a leg to list your properties and get tenants and buyers directly reaching out to you. Other than that, Natalie Wainwright, we missed you today, but we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. See you, Bucky.
See ya.
Bye.